Hi, this is going to be a video where I answer questions in a coloring tag called Coloring Tag 2019. And I was tagged by Camilla Bell, who is a coloring book illustrator and has several books attributed to her. You can find them listed at Amazon, including 50 States to Color, which I think would be a very nice book to have in a grade school classroom as a geography lesson, something fun for the kids. And Femme Fatale, 15 Villains to Color. And there's several others, so I'll leave a link in the description to her Amazon page. What I'm currently working on right now is this one from Coloring Heaven. This particular volume features mystical designs by Durian Addict, aka T. Fallon, Bohemian Beauties. And this is what I've got done so far. I'm still deciding on a hair color. And I also completed another one in here, this which will be included in my monthly update of what I colored. The second question in the tag is name your top 3 illustrators. The first one is this one, Selena Fennec. What I like about her illustrations, her figures are gothic, they're fantasy, and I like the way she illustrates. Her figures are very flowing in their hair, in their gowns. I have, let's see, Gothic Goddess, Victorian Romance, Night Magic, Fairy Coloring Companions, and Mermaids. She was one of the first illustrators I started collecting. Now, I don't have many of her newer ones, including the Fedorables. That genre doesn't appeal to me, but I like her more realistic drawings of the fantasy figures such as the mermaids, the fairies, and of course the Victorian women. The second illustrator, who I have a growing collection of, is Mingju Sun. And what I like about her illustrations, they're most of them are drawn in the Art Deco style, and I really like that. Her drawings, although very detailed, some of them containing intricate details, they're also very simplistic. You know, you can look at her images and see what you're looking at. Okay, that's part of her cloak, that's her dress, that's the vegetation, you know. There's not a lot you really have to stare at to see exactly what you're coloring. And there's a more recent example of something I did. That's Jazz Age. I have Ornamental Fashions, Fabulous Fashion of the 1950s. She has a new one coming out early next year, Fabulous Fashions of the 1970s, and that is currently on my wish list. Art Deco Fashions and Fantasy Fashions. And she does a lot of work for Creative Haven and Dover Publications. And my third favorite illustrator is Avant Gilbert. She's done a lot of illustrations for the series by Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and Throne of Glass. I believe that is one of her illustrations right there. There's another one illustrated by Gilbert. And another one. And her illustrations are easy to tell. She has a lot of swirly bits in her drawings. Her main focus are the people, and then she draws an intricate background, which I like. There's not a lot for interpretation, unless you're looking at something she's drawn and you can't really tell, you know, well, is this part of the plant or part of the decor? So it's, you know, I love the way she draws. I love her illustrations. I really enjoy coloring. I take my time, and there's another one. And she also drew many in A Court of Thorns and Roses, and a Game of Thrones, including this one of Cersei. Red Queen. She drew all of the character pics in this book. There was another illustrator that did the letterings, but she did all the character drawings in this book. I just love her style. That's one of my favorites right there. And Outlander, another one that contains many of her drawings. The third question was, what is your favorite type of coloring? For me, I like coloring that it's line art, not grayscale. And the central focus is a character, a person, with a detailed background. And one good example of that is some books by Jade Summer. You know, books. I'm not a really big fan of large portraitures, but I do like characters, especially dressed in a specific style of clothing. Fennec does a lot of work like that as well. The next question is, what are your favorite mediums? Mine is colored pencils, both regular and watercolor pencils, because you can do so much more with them. Some mediums are, you know, I like to blend and transition colors and that kind of thing. And other mediums, you know, are hard to do that. So that's why, even though pencils can be tedious at times and they take a lot longer, overall, that's the medium I use most in my colorings. Next question is, what are your least favorite mediums? Well, for one thing, it would be these. I love the final result of shine and glitter on my pages, but they're a pain to work with because they're so messy. I forget, and then I end up with a huge thumbprint and something I just, you know, decorated up. And The other one that's a close second are these chalk pastels, because they're just so dusty. I do use them quite often though, but that's only when I know that using a pencil or a watercolor, it wouldn't be the look that I was looking for, because other mediums, when you have a large background to cover up, other mediums can be kind of streaky, and I find I have better control with these as far as coverage on a background. The next question is, what books have you completed? Well, I have two. First one is Astro Inklings by Tanya Bond. Now, because there are only 12 original illustrations in this, that was fairly easy to do. I colored one a month, basically. And there are 24 pages in all because they're repeats. So I started working on, I'll show you real quick what I did. See if I can get you out of here a little bit better. There we go. So this one I redid because I thought her nose didn't have enough dimension to it. It was kind of flat, so I redid it. I'll see if I can find that. That's another redo. The background, I started one way and I didn't like the way it was looking, so I finished with chalk pastels, and it looks kind of strange. And yeah, there we go. Yeah. And that's it for that one. And the second one is Gothic by Selena Fennec. And like Bond's book, this one has double images. And I completed the first set. That's one I redid. That I colored twice. This was one of my first books, so I used budget-friendly pencils for the most part in this one. I did this one twice too. And that's the first one I did, and this was the second one. I did two of this one as well. And that's it for the first. There's a second one I did. And the second one of that one. So those are the ones I considered complete for all the, first set of images. The next question is, what is your favorite book series? I think I would have to say I already showed them. It would be the books featuring that feature characters from pop culture, Game of Thrones, Throne of Glass, Outlander, the books that contained images drawn by Avant Gilbert, and the other series, of course, would be the ones drawn by Mingju Sun, the fashion series, fashions of the 50s, Art Deco fashions, Jazz Age fashions, that kind of thing. So I think those would be my favorite series of books. And finally, how many books do I have currently? Well, I last counted them a year ago, and there were 76, and I've probably gotten maybe close to a dozen, so I'd say there's probably around 85 or 86, mid-80s range. So, if you want to participate in this tag, but you don't post videos, answer these questions in the comment section below. I'd also like to tag Olga Rani. I would like for her to do a video on this topic. Trying to think of other, I know I get a lot of people who comment regularly on my videos, but they don't have videos on their channels, so I would like for them to answer in the comment section below. So anyway, thanks Camilla for tagging me. It was fun, and it gave me a reason to do a video. Sometimes I run out of ideas and I can't think of a good topic to talk about, but this was a good one. So thank you very much, and thank you all for watching.